Alright, take two. Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. So, what we have today, we're going to take a look at the arena. The arena cycles every week. Right now, it's one of the constructed formats, and it is regular constructed. This will be great because I'm ready to play some new arena, and I'm also just ready to play some constructed. I really like constructed. I think it's one of my favorite formats to play because I like to see what other people play, and just like to get to craft your own deck is something that I like to do a lot. So yeah, we're just going to get into it. Let's go ahead and take a look at our decks for a second. I guess I can just start here. We did make that army deck, and we also had a couple of other decks which we experimented with. I remember let me just look at these before I quickly hop on one. So one of the ones that we made last time was Vampires and Wolves, but we didn't actually get to play with it. So this is the Drinker of Blood deck. We talked about Drinker of Blood. We made this new deck that uses some wolf tokens and also some of the duelist cards. So I think this is what we'll try playing today. It's called Vampires and Wolves, and then after that, if I might end up playing with one of the other decks from the last constructed tournament, because we did do a lot of review for those last stream, so I think it would be pretty fun to just try playing with one of those decks. But for now, let's just go ahead and we'll hop in with this. Alright. I suppose I could just do what I did last time, which is queued up for a quick match, and then when I saw someone in arena, I went into arena. So let's just do that. We have our deck queued up right here, so that'll be the deck that we're playing with. Go ahead and quick match it, and I'll take my turn here against Cutter, but don't think he'll be online right now. Basically, what happened was this was the game that was started last stream, and I Misguided Herald into this Time Bender and used it on my own Misguided Herald. So Cutter surprise attacked this out, which is very bad for us. Probably just have to Keeper of Secrets here so I can block one of those zombie tokens. Kind of a desperate play, but we saw Demonic Rising, Raxa, Plentiful Dead, so that's fine. We can play a yeah, that's fine. We can play a Corpsemonger. So what we'll do is we'll play the Corpsemonger now. The Corpsemonger will block a zombie. We'll play Crystal Golem, block a zombie, or Xanos. Break the Crystal Golem, draw 2, banish the Crystal Golem to gain 3 life. And then we'll get Raxa likely, which is fine. Or we might get Demonic Rising, I suppose. If we get Demonic Rising, I guess I'll have to block. I suppose I could also Dark One's Apprentice, take out 2 zombies. That's not a bad play either, now that we know that these are the things that could be played. We'll also have to come back to that. Alright. Let's just go ahead and we'll queue us up as well here. Now, the Legend Series just happened today for Epic. Let's see. Go to tournaments. Oh, I have a game already. Alright. We'll come back to that. I'll explain what I meant with that. Alright, so it looks like we are in A. I'm just going to leave the queue here. It's the opponent's turn. Hey, Pix. It's the opponent's turn, so Street Soldier is going to be great here. Heinous Feast is fine, but we have a draw 2 already. We don't need it. Angel of Death is perfectly reasonable, and Drain Essence is also quite nice. So we'll go ahead and we'll keep the Arcane Research because basically this card, worst case scenario, we play it, we banish nothing, and we just draw 1, but we show it to our opponent, so I'd rather show the card to our opponent than pay the 1 health. So we're just moving away the Heinous Feast because we already have to draw 2. This is looking like a good hand. We can either Street Swindler or Drain Essence into either a Street Swindler. If we Drain Essence, we'll Street Swindler. I can't say that very quickly. If we Drain Essence on Benron's turn, we'll Street Swindler on our own turn. But if we Street Swindler on their turn, then we'll likely have something in the next 3 draws. Or 4 if we Arcane Research to find a real play for our own turn. But basically this is this deck that was playing Drinker of Blood, and I wanted to try it out because I made this, we didn't get a chance to really play it, and it is pretty straightforward. I mean, we're running a couple of burn cards. We've got Hunting Pack, we've got Later Transformation, and we've got Wolfspite, and then we've got some cards that make zombies, and we're going to either Wither or Flashfire our way to victory with this Drinker of Blood. That's the plan. It's pretty linear. Slurp. Not sure Benron's online either. It's always funny when people queue up and then they leave. I'm sad. Alright, that's alright though. We'll quick time it. We'll continue looking. Continue the great search. Anyway, what was I talking about? We have the tournaments. So we just had, where is it? Yeah, the Legend Series, it's over here. The Legend Series just ended, so it was a Swiss tournament with a couple of rounds of Dark Draft, followed by a cut to top 8 Dark Draft. And it looks like the winner was BMC Fluff, so congratulations. One thing that I'm really excited for are big tournaments with constructed decks, because I think it's really interesting to look at what people make. But I know that Dark Draft is definitely also a very good format, and it has a much lower barrier for entry for new players, for people that don't really want to spend the time to, make a deck. They can just play with their opponent in a semi-randomized fashion and figure out their strategy as they build it. It's interesting that Benron queued up against me but then left, but I guess I can understand. I mean, if you thought that the queue was going to take a while, or you just want to have some games to play against, you might queue up and then, go to something else. Take a turn every once in a while. Alright. It's about time. Let's do something a little different. Let's make something that's more classical. I mean, it could just make a generic control deck. Something that I think is pretty fun is just to kind of pick something, pick a card, or maybe something that you don't play with very often, and try and build around that. Like Citadel Raven. We could build a Citadel Raven. The only thing is, this would probably have to be an Army of the Apocalypse deck, so I'm not sure. I think the strongest thing to build Citadel Raven with is Army of the Apocalypse, because you can Army of the Apocalypse it into play and then attack with it and then get your Army of the Apocalypse back. But we just made an Army of the Apocalypse deck. Sure, yeah, so basically right now we have right now there are the random So there's monthly tournaments, which are golden ticket entries, and the reward structure is on our website. But I don't want to. It's called the EDMC. I don't want to. Misspeak on the actual reward structure, so let me look it up. It's Epic Digital Monthly Championship, and that requires a golden ticket. Basically, there are different tournaments. So right now, we're just doing soft tournaments, as in there are scheduled ones, like the Legend Series. Legend Series just happened. That was a 400 gem entry fee, and the prize for that, there were basically. I don't actually. I'm at Legend Series. I'm like so bad about remembering all of the rewards for all the different formats. Okay, so it was 400 gems for the Epic Legend Series, and basically, depending on what place you got, so everyone got foils and a participation avatar, and you got foils based on how many games you won, and then also you got a if you got in the top 8 places, then you got a certain number of golden tickets, and golden tickets are used to enter the EDMCs, and the EDMCs are monthly. They rotate, so each monthly championship will be Dark Draft, the next one will be Constructed, and it goes back and forth. And you get gems for placing and golden tickets for placing if you place in the top 8. Everyone gets an avatar, a special avatar if you play in an EDMC. And the first place of in each EDMC also receives $500. Yeah, and that is basically how the EDMC works. How it works is you go to Play Online. So I have Move Against Pen wrong. You click this little tournaments button, and there are tournaments that you can enter. So, for example, there's this one, which you can register for if you have a golden ticket. And basically, what happens is at a certain amount of time before the event starts, it sends you a notification. I think that's 15 minutes and 2 minutes before. And then each round, you just get paired up against someone based on what your current score is. It's Swiss and then cut, so that means that there's a certain number of rounds based on how many people there are. If there were 8 people, for example, I think it would be 3 rounds, and then you do cut to top 4 with 2 rounds of elimination, and then and then you have your first, second, third, fourth, and then the Swiss rankings would be 5th through 8th. Otherwise, if you have more than 8, then it's 9 to 16 would be 4 rounds of Swiss, 17 to 32 would be 5 rounds, and so on and so forth. After the rounds of Swiss, it's cut to top 8, and then those are your top 8 places. And then the rounds themselves. Each player, there are 20. I think each player has the same amount of time that you would normally have in a timed game. So it's just like a normal timed game, and the pairings are done automatically. Once the last person has finished their game, then the last pair, then it repairs everyone. So you'll get a notification saying that repairings will be happening in 2 minutes, and then you'll get your pairings, and you get a special timer, something like 5 minutes, I think, on your first turn, so that if you time out, you would have to not be in play for extra long before it's considered that you're AFK. Yeah, it sounds good. I'd love to do some challenges like that. So we're just going to drain essence this. This is a good draining essence time. Pass the turn. We'll just play this reasonable on our turn as if it's a mini Gudgeon, basically. What do we get revealed? It was Draka Feeding Frenzy? Sure. So maybe we should have played the Street Swindler, and then we can play the Drain Essence on the Draka, but this is fine. This is totally fine. turn we are up against Benron here. Let's go ahead and we'll draw 2. And this is sad because you don't have an off-turn play, which means that we'll probably be playing the Arcane Research for 2 to dig 2. But maybe we'll get a good wither target here. Like, we really want to see a Muse. Well, I think I just have to pass. It's very unlikely my discard pile gets banished, so I don't want to play as though it is going to, because that would be revealing my hand, so to speak. I'm kind of expecting a Draka here, just because it automatically gets rid of this. Yep. Which is nice, because now I can Arcane Research for 3. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, we did get a Haste V, so we're using that so we have a way to spend our golds. We'll draw 2 with it. Taking this damage. Probably just going to play as Angel Death here as a Deathbringer, just to remove the Draka and put a body into play. Yeah, it's you have to be online and ready to play as if you're there in real life, and it all happens in one day. More regular tournaments are coming very soon, now that we have been making a lot of changes to the UI. There's still the tournaments that happen on a non-regular basis, and there's the monthly ones, but one thing that's important is having tournaments that are more accessible to players that don't play that much, or they don't have that much experience with the tournament scene. So here I'm going to be taking 9, that'll bring me down to 24. And probably they'll pass to me, so I'll just clear it with Angel Death. We see Feeding Frenzy and Flame Spike. I won't show the Wither, so I'll reveal the other 2. We have a full hand here, which is nice. So here I'm expecting Benron to draw 2, and then we'll both get 7. Which puts us a little behind in terms of, well, we'll be ahead, because we'll be both get 7, but it'll be their turn, and we'll have a body out already, but we'll be 6 health lower. But if I can start the game at less than 6 health for A, that's not good. It's going to deal us some damage. But we're fine. We're gonna have to try and make a big play here with Drinker of Blood. That's gonna be our saving grace. How long do they usually last? It depends a lot on the number of people. So, but you can expect that it'll take 50 minutes per round, and shorter for the elimination rounds. But basically, like it's easily going to be something like 5 hours. But most of your games won't actually last that long. It'll be things like it's quite possible that a round takes less time, but I would expect that each round takes 50 minutes. Pyrosaur, just going in on it. Just going for it. Alright. Gonna try and kill us, basically. Just wolf bite this so we can draw another card. Honestly, I'll probably just let the wolf token try and block this. That'll eat the flame spike, and then I'll remove it with the wither. Maybe we should try Polar Shock in our deck. Could be pretty good. Yep, there's the Flame Spike. It's somewhat tempting to just hold on to the Wither, just so we can try and pull something through with the Drinker of Blood, but I don't think it's quite worth it. That would be 15, but I don't think we're going to win this game by don't think we're winning this game by burning them out. I think that we're the defending player here, so we need to just draw cards and keep ourselves safe. There's another Power Star coming, so we have to plan around that. Do a lot of damage, so we're going to double Flash Fire, take out the Power Sword, but that does put us pretty low. We also kind of have to play the Gudgeon here. Heinous Feast is a nice draw. Currently gains us 3 health. Discard the Necrovirus, probably. So let's see, if we did play all of our burn cards, we would do 4, 27. Pretty close. We might actually be able to close it out with burn. we could get there. We are pretty close. Yeah, about 5 hours, yeah. I mean, time can vary, but I would say that would be my expectation. Like I said, depends on the number of players that sign up. Oh, that's rough. That probably kills us. We're going to Heinous Feast here. And then, like, I'm not even sure we can play these Flash Fires now. We probably want to keep Necrovirus so that we can go for a big play with Drinker of Blood. So I'm just going to discard one of these Flame Strikes, as fun as it would be. See if we can gain health off this Devour at some point. Because if I go Necrovirus, Drinker, Flash Fire, then I can gain 10, which is a big deal. I mean, it'll be effectively gaining 8, but still, it don't matter. Like, we're probably just getting Power Sword here, which is fine. Then we Necrovirus it, then our turn starts, we Drinker of Blood, Flash Fire. That means we lose 6, which puts us at 5, but then we gain 10 and go to 15, and then the Drinker of Blood has to be dealt with. But the new tournaments that we'll be instating will be single elimination, which means they'll be much shorter. Because basically, you just play until you lose. And that means that, what, if there's 8 people on average, I mean, just an example, like let's just say there's 8 person, it's an 8-person pod. And single elimination, then 3 rounds at 15 minutes each. On average, every player plays for 2 rounds, which means our 40 or max maximum time would be 2:30, right? But only if you only if all rounds go 15 minutes and you win all 3. I guess or if you win the first 2. But that would be much more reasonable. Especially since, well, that is like the most amount of time. Rounds don't always go the maximum length. Alright, so that was, let me just make sure I know what those cards are. So we got shown a Feeding Frenzy and a Calm. So we've just known about the Feeding Frenzy for a while. So we're definitely playing Necrovirus here. And then our turn starts, we play Drinker of Blood and Flash Fire. The Drinker of Blood gets Konged, so we Flame Strike them, and then we devour their Kong, which puts us at a healthy life total. I like this plan. Puts us at 25. Yeah, I mean at 20. Assuming there's nothing else that makes a really big difference here. Alright. Looking good. We also can kill them pretty soon, right? We've got 15 right here, 16, 17. Alright. Not too shabby. The game's looking a lot better all of a sudden. Even I could even Hunting Pack Flashfire to deal 6 gain or deal 8 gainful. If I wanted to. If I really felt like it. What's really fun about this deck is you do your damage in such big chunks. Like they were just at 30, and I was just at 7. And then suddenly I go up to 15, they go down to 18. Draping Dragon to us. Sure. They kind of have to Kong this, then attack. It's really their only play. Because if they attack first and I remove that, they're so far behind. Okay, now they're going to Kong this and deal 3 damage to me, then attack. So this is a great Hunting Pack, right? The real question is, do I Flash Fire first? Just to remove the Fire Shaman. See, I'm gonna be, we know that's Feeding Frenzy. I think that's correct. Our turn starts, we go up to 10, and then we get in for 6, and we have lethal if the opponent does nothing for the next 2 turns. Looks good to us. Looking good. Because we know that's Feeding Frenzy, we know the last card's Feeding Frenzy. Very nice. I'm not going to go for the Plentiful Dead here because I need the health more than I need the zombie token. Devour's coming in clutch here. Draw 2. Knew that was coming. They're just going to take this. Alright. We're in a good spot. We're both at 10. We both got 3 cards in hand. We've got lethal staring them in the face. I mean, it's not staring them in the face, but they don't want to take 6 again, that's for sure. We do lose to Draka plus a burn card. Aw, are we dead? So close. Alright. Good game, Benron. Okay. Oh, we're up against... We got another game going against Benron. So we're going first. So let's just keep this. Well, we can toss the Angel of Death. And probably that... I'm not sure about this Flood of Fire. Not sure about the Wither either. I think those cards are all not going to be good against in this matchup. Because I'm just assuming it's the same thing. So I'll keep the draw 2. And the Plentiful Dead I think will be good. It's bad against Pyrosaur and Draka sometimes, but I mean worst case scenario, it just you can use it as a jump blocker, and that's usually fine. But we didn't see any discard pile banishment, and if Benron isn't running discard pile banishment, then it's just going to run rampant against things like Kong and Pyrosaur and just block those cards. I think we're just going to make some changes while we wait for Benron. So, what do we think? I was not a fan of Flood of Fire. I think I'd rather be playing that other wild card that was played against us, actually. The one that deals 6. Polar Shock. Much better a mid-sized attack here. So we have this nice combination of different cards. I think we'll go ahead and try this one out. Helion. This must be a different deck. Alright, so that's going to take out both of our champions. War Machine and Ice Drake. Okay. Well, can't do anything about that. So then, what? This attacks for 8 here? That's the play? Sky Serpent, just slamming it. Alright, interesting. Probably not the way I would make. We could just Necrovirus that. I think that's probably what we do. We're going to Plentiful Dead Necrovirus that. Sounds good. Everyone get some zombies. If Benjamin wants to, he can just remove both of these zombie tokens, but that's fine. This Necrovirus will give us a lot of advantage when we activate it, giving us 3 zombies. Maybe Benron wants to get rid of 1 zombie and shoot us for 2. Maybe Benron's deciding between those 2 options. No, I'll just turn that off. Oh wait, let me just take my turn here. I just realized that I have the AC going. Alright, let's just remove the Helion here. Yeah, let's just remove it. We're gonna get Ice Draked, but it's really not that big of a deal. I'm actually probably not going to play the do the 3 here because it would be nice, but we know War Machine's in hand. I don't want to give a good War Machine turn for free. Just wait for it. War Machine banishes all of your opponent's zero cost champions when you play it, and then it has Blitz if you have loyalty too. So you would just get, you would have to be forced to Plentiful Dead to block it, and then draw 2, I suppose. Would not be ideal. I kind of want more card draw in this deck. Well, I guess we have Street Swindler and the Gudgeon. There's Muse. And then how are they spending their golds? Are they not? Ice Drake. Veldin and Frost Titan. So they have to play Veldin or Frost Titan next turn. So here's the thing. I could play Flashfire, Wither, Consume, or I could just Wither the the Muse. I think the play is just Wither the Muse, so I can draw 2 with the Flashfire. This is nice because they're probably running an all Sage deck, but they might as well go for the. I mean, I personally would do the War Machine over the Veldin. So what's going to happen here is they're going to attack with both. I'll take this 8 and go down to 25. I think they should pass, and then I draw 2 with my Flashfire because I know it's in their hand. And then when they play an attack with one of their 1-cost cards, I'll just block with a Plentiful Dead token. I think this deck does need more Breakalls though. I guess it has Zombie Apocalypse and Angel Death, so, and it has Wave Transformation. 9 out of 60 is going to be what? 6 out of 60 would be 1 in every 10, so this one's 3 in every 20. I guess it's not that much. So it does seem to be very good against the different decks we're going up against. Benron's thinking over their options. The thing is, Veldin is much better with only 1 Sage card in hand, whereas War Machine's basically unplayable without 2 Sage cards in hand. So I probably would want to activate the War Machine over the Veldin. However, the Veldin is much better against tokens, whereas the War Machine is better against other 0-cost champions that aren't tokens. I'm kind of expecting the other zombie token to come in, which is fine. I'll take the 2. I'm not sure what'll happen next. Benron's mulling over their options, trying to decide whether or not to attack for 2. Thing is, it's actually really good for Benron for a zombies trade because I can't do any shenanigans with Drinker of Blood. So Benron really wants these zombies to both die. For that reason, I think you hold them back if you want both players to stay. Ooh. I don't know why I'm yelling so much. If you hold the zombie back, if you want both players to stay at high health, and you swing in the zombie if you want both players to have 2 less health every round. But I guess we'll see. It's going to be the play. I kind of want to make more changes to this deck. I'm not really quite satisfied with that one change. I did like Devour. It did actually do quite well in our test there. Like, all of these cards seem fine. Maybe we want more Ancient Chants. All these cards all seem fine, that's the thing. I'm not sure if Surprise Attack makes sense in this deck. There's just not enough champions. We'll cut Surprise Attack. Might just cut all the wild out of this to make the deck just more simplified. The thing is, we really want Flash Fire, right? So maybe we just want Polar Shock and either Flame Strike or Hunting Pack, and then we cut the Wolf Spite. Wolf Spite's also very good. Could play Smash and Burn to draw 2 with other benefits. Or you just run one copy and then go down to 2 Wolf Spites, and then we can bring this up to 3. I like that play. And then we can run 1. Don't think it's Calm. We could just run 1 Surprise Attack because we have Angel of Death and because we have Drinker of Blood and we have these other champions. So let's run 1 Surprise Attack. I think the problem is if we get more than 1 in hand, they can be awkward to play. So go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and kick up the 3/3 Ancient Chants. Okay. Otherwise, I think this deck looks pretty nice. Instead of Street Swindler, we might even want to play another Break All effect that has draw 2 as an option. Maybe we'll just cut 1 of these, and we'll play a Reap and Sow. Which doesn't have draw 2, but making 4 zombies, or even Wake the Dead. That's only on your turn to break all, and it makes each player gets 3 zombies, or 3 zombies draw a card, which I think is better than 4 zombies. So go ahead and try that out. Yeah, alright. I think because this is a new card in our deck, I think we should actually try more copies so we can experiment with it. Generally, that's my rule as rule of thumb is if you're trying a card that you don't normally, that it wasn't in your deck before, and you want to test out to see how good it is in the deck, then you want to put more copies in just so you can get a better feel for it. You'll get more experience with that card in your games much faster. I'll queue for another quick match. Go ahead and do the same deck again with our new changes. I'm not sure what happened to Benron. And this is our other deck, which I wanted to say it was really more about winged death was the main focus of this deck. So I really wanted to make a deck where winged death is just, you're always happy to draw winged death because what we're doing is we're getting rid of our opponent's small champions and we're just focusing on how this card can be amplified. And the main way we're doing that is we're running a whole bunch of champions, Misguide Herald. We've got Dark One's Apprentice to take out small things. We've got some zero cost cards to take out small things. We have Army of the Apocalypse, which works very well with Winged Death, and we have Angel of Death, Emperor, Ritualist. Overall, after playing with this a bit, I think the Sequester Time Bender is a little questionable, so I think I want to cut those and probably just toss in the surprise attacks because we have so many champions here. So we'll just go ahead and play something like, I just cut 4 Sage cards, so we'll go ahead and go down 2, and then we'll just cut all these and run we don't have that many Sage cards anymore, so I mean, Keeper of Secrets works extremely well with Army of the Apocalypse in general, so I guess we'll continue running Keeper of Secrets for now. Maybe instead of Keeper of Secrets, we should try Disappearing Act, right? Because Disappearing Act lets you discard a card, and it's just a good tempo play. It also works reasonably well with other zero-cost champions, so go ahead and give Disappearing Act a try in this deck, and then in that case, we can just go ahead and splash our surprise attacks, which are very good with Angel of Death and Emperor Ritualist, which are both running. And then for our last wild slot, I think maybe Whirlwind. I guess it does take out all of our champions. Does it take out Emperor Ritualist or maybe Draka's Fire? I want like a card that can burn a bit. Savage Uprising would also be fine. Gold Draka's Fire just as a way to clear medium-sized things. So you can use this second mode. It's actually very good against demon tokens. And then we can play 2 Wolf Spites, which helps us fulfill that getting rid of small champions part of the deck. And Disappearing Act can also do that. It can also deal 2 damage to your target. So yeah, this will be our backup. The other deck that I want to try, because we made that one last stream, but fortunately we just didn't get a chance to really play either of these 2 constructed decks. So we got some games in with the Wolf Vampire deck today. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll get some games in with the Army of the deck next time. Against Epic Warlord. Alright. Let's see, the opponent's going first. I like this Wake the Dead in our opening hand. What if I Wake the Dead, Drink, or Flash Fire? It's still only 6, so it's not that much. I think we don't want Drinker in our opening hand, even though it is very central to our game plan. I think it just doesn't do very much for us. It's like Flame Strike. It's not a card we usually want unless it's the end game. So we'll go ahead and toss that. They're going first, which this is a nice hand for. We've got Wave of Transformation if they play a Blitz champion. Otherwise, we are going to play Wake the Dead and start getting in with our zombie tokens. Interesting. I think we just take 8 here and draw 2. And Flash Fire it all away. We just end up taking some damage. I think that's the play. I suppose I probably shouldn't have drawn 2 here, because now if he has Revolt, then I just take 1,000,000 damage. Which would be very bad. But this is a misplay on my part. I should not have played the draw 2 there, but it looks like we're not being punished for it. Now, I expect Flash Fire to be very good, and also this is a good time to get up to Angel of Death, so I'm probably going to play the Angel of Death on my own turn. Zombie Apocalypse is looking great in this matchup because the opponent's deck will probably not have very many champions in it. making more humans. Alright. What's interesting is if that 8/8 attacks and I block, I can flash fire to clear. I will probably play Wake the Dead and just start blocking humans here. If a human token attacks. Womp womp. I mean, I'll probably just flash fire here. Unless it's another insurgency. Alright, this is looking great. So block here. No, flash fire, Wake the Dead to make 3 zombies. Clear the board completely. If they pass here, I just start my turn for sure. 100% of the time. Even though it looks like we've been taking a lot of damage, we've been whittling away at the card advantage here. So our 5 cards versus our opponent's 3 is a big deal, and we've pretty much shut off a lot of loyalty opportunities. And there I effectively traded the flash fire for the Imperial Cavalry at the cost of my Angel of Death, but I also got to take down the Rally people. That's a big deal. Alright, and they're just going to rally the people, which lets us start putting some pressure. So playing it right away is interesting because it means that it can't attack, and it's going to be small versus my zombie tokens. Or maybe they'll just replay it when I attack, which would be absolutely fine with me. It'd be fantastic. I'll almost definitely be playing the Arcane Research here to dig for a real on-turn play like a Gudgeon. I guess I can do that now, just in case I hit a... Wither is so good against their deck. We're going to take the Wither. It just so happens that our deck is chock full of meta cards that defeat human tokens. Since we have 3 Withers and 3 Flash Fires. The one thing about this style of deck is it tends to be very good against other token decks, so it's a good meta breaker in that way if you expect to go up against a lot of token decks. And I think with all the new duels cards, people have been trying more of these types of decks. Just gonna banish your Scarpal now, shut off the Rive people, and then I'll probably go for the draw 2. It's probably gonna be draw 2 with Zombie Apocalypse. Just because Devour is a pretty nice benefit on my own turn. Sure. We're also gonna draw 2. Happy to get the Revolt is actually pretty scary for me, so I'm glad to get that out of the way. Pass. Take the 1 here. I could hold back a zombie token, but I'm dealing 2 less damage to take 1 less damage. Which might be the play if I start to get lower on health, but it definitely is not the play right now. I want to keep attacking. I want to put them on the defensive. With 6 more damage, they're already at 16. Sure, that's Peros. Gonna give all humans a +1 attack. And also, whenever you play a good card, you get another human token, so it's a human token generator. Like right now, Warlord probably would want like a draw 2. Like an urgent messenger, so that's what Warlord would want. Or an Imperial Commander, which draws you a card and gives all your good champions +3 offense. Interesting, going all out here. Do I want to take 8? Probably not. Not really sure that I want to Wither either because it's so valuable, but I guess we'll use it. It's basically a gain 8, and it also takes down 3 tokens. Hard to say no. That's a very good value for 0. Well, to banish all 0s. That'll actually make another human token after the banish. It's kind of funny. The ally ability still triggers, but it just happens afterwards. I'm going to draw 2 here. No, Gudgeon to draw 2 and pass again. Honestly, the Gudgeon, it might just be right to trade the Gudgeon in for a human token in this matchup. Wither, it's an amazing draw. Necroraris is also quite good. Gives us just a ton of blockers. We're not going to play it, we're going to discard it. I mean, if they play a good target for it here, I'll discard the Ancient Chant instead. But we have Flame Strike and Devour and lots of 0-cost cards to deal with random junk. I think it's safe to say it would be hard to lose this game. Our deck's just so well favored against it. And human decks, it looks like they're building around explosiveness. So generally in this deck, there's a really difficult part of playing it is deciding when to go off. And the reason for that is basically what you want is, I guess I could get blown out by a, I mean if they play Insurgency, I'll just play Wither and not take any damage. What you want is to get to the right point where you either force your opponent to spend a lot of resources to get rid of something that you've just been passively accumulating, like you've been playing Urgent Messengers, that kind of thing. Or your 1 or 2 human tokens are attacking for so much, so they have to spend real cards on them. Or you have this huge explosive turn, where you're not really spending your gold, you're getting your opponent to react first, and then you just slam down, ridiculous cards, basically. I'm not going to, I'm just going to take this 4, see what they want to do about that. No. I think I'm actually just going to draw 2 and make the 3 zombies. I think that's the play. It's very greedy, but I have 2 withers here. So I'm not sure how they could really punish me. It's hard for me to imagine them punishing me here. I mean, I guess the biggest punish would be I have to spend both. If they play... not sure what would actually cause me to have to do that. Oh, that looks like a good trade for me. I guess they're clearing the board. Or they have some huge bump for one of these human tokens. Like it's going to get armed and ridiculously pumped up or something. Or they have a... They can't have Plague because they can't choose me because I'm untargetable. Take the 1. I might get blown out. If they banish all, then it's worth taking the 1 damage just for the risk. Honestly, if they banish all here, I'll probably just play Drain Essence on my own turn as a gain 9. Which is kind of silly, but I think it's the right call. I'm gonna make 6 human tokens. Alright. I think I just play this as a 0-cost gain 6. That clears their board. It's kind of I feel bad because I just happen to have this super hyper efficient card against human tokens. But that's the risk that you take when you play human tokens. They're very explosive, but you just have more. They're coming out of the walls, the human tokens. Alright, we'll attack with our unblockable one first. They'll probably never be able to get rid of this Gudgeon, because good decks they seem to be mono good, have a really hard time removing small champions. They usually have to spend their gold to get rid of them. So if you're really struggling against good, then you can play small utility champions like Gudgeon, Thoughtplucker, or Necromancer Lord, that kind of thing. I'm fine with that. I could spend a consume here, but don't think it's worth it. I'm about to discard a card anyway. I think I hunting pack the human token. I could get blown out again, but like I said, I don't think they're actually really running a good answer here. They could quell me maybe. They could, yeah, I don't have a play to make. That's the thing about cards like Mobilize. This is so much for a 0-cost card, right? You get 3 human tokens, that's 3 bodies. Or you get 7 health, that's a lot for 0. But you can't use this to get more cards, which is a big deal. People underestimate the versatility of just randomly you drawing 2 with your zeros when you have nothing better to do. If I flame strike them, then I'm setting them up for lethal. So I think that's the play. Or it just gives me some plays that I could draw that would make me win the game. If I draw a Polar Shock or a Flame Strike here, I win. So I'm making this play. Nope. Of course, I also win if I draw Gudgeon. I mean, not Gudgeon, Drinker of Blood. Didn't have a play off turn last turn, so they probably won't have one this turn. I am going to do a massive arcane research here and see if I can find one of those cards. Just wins me the game. I'll go Wither first, I guess. There it is. That'll be game. Alright. That's why we have Arcane Research in the deck, really, so we can just find lethal. Okay, well, actually I think we're going to call it here, so that'll be the end of the stream. But I'll be back again on Monday, and we're just going to keep doing Constructed, because it's Constructed Arena right now, and maybe we'll play some Quick Match and some Dark Draft games, because the next EDMC is Dark Draft, and that one is coming up a week from this weekend. But in the meantime, have a good weekend, have some good Epic games, and I'll see you all next week. Epic Warlord. It's a good name, right? I like it. Epic Warlord.